this lesson, we'll look at characters 153 to 160 of the 1,000 character classic, the 1,500-year-old Chinese classic in which no characters are repeated. In the last lesson, we looked at lines 37 and 38, which state that our bodies are comprised of the 4 elements and 5 constants. In this lesson, we look at lines 39 and 40, which will remind us to take care of ourselves. Let's look at line 39, character by character. The first character here means polite. The next means only. The third character means nourish. The last one here means nurture, and it's part of words such as thrive and nutritious. The translation reads, "Be mindful of how you are raised." Now let's hear it pronounced. You'll hear it from a recording in Korean, Japanese, and Chinese.
공유구경
教育用
恭维居养
I'll play those one more time.
공유구경
教育用
恭维居养
On to the 40th line. The first character here means how, as in the exclamation, like how brave or how dare. The next one means brave. So together that's how brave. The third one means ruin. The fourth means injure. The translation reads, "Dare not to harm yourself." Or, in other words, how dare you harm yourself. So in combination with the previous line, be mindful of how you are raised, dare not to harm yourself. Now let's hear it pronounced.
기감회상
機関気象
旗杆毁伤
I'll play this one more time.
기감회상
機関気象
旗杆毁伤
Let's look at a few radicals or components. First, I'll review a few radicals. If you look at character 154, the component on the left is the radical for heart. This is the vertical form of the radical. Next, look at 157. You'll see the mountain radical on top of the bean. It reminds me of the English idiom, "It doesn't amount to a hill of beans," which means something has no value. That English idiom doesn't relate to this character, but saying this kind of thing to myself helps me remember the character. Finally, look at 159. The index radical for this character is the part on the right. Remember that radical means lance or weapon. The top left component is the radical for mortar, as in mortar and pestle. The bottom left means craft. As this character means ruin, imagine a carpenter smashing a clay mortar pot. If you add the fire radical to the left, you get a character that means burn up. That doesn't appear in the classic, just a little bit of extra information. Actually, one more note, a variation of this character uses the ground radical in the bottom left rather than the craft radical. So you will see versions of the 1000 character classic which write the character in this way. And this is also the way that it's going to appear in modern Japanese and Chinese with the ground radical instead. So here are the 2 lines. Take a look for a few moments and see if you remember some of the radicals or components. Okay, let's move on. Based on the 8 characters of these 2 lines, I've come up with a word list. I've tried to select words that are common and relevant to Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. On the coming slides, you'll hear the words spoken in English, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese. Deference.
공경
強敬
恭敬
Ancient Chinese football.
축구
蹴鞠
蹴鞠
Cultivation.
양성
養成
养成
To raise or rear.
양육
養育
养育
Brave.
용감
勇敢
勇敢
Defamation.
훼손
毀損
毁损
A broken heart.
상심
傷心
伤心
Injury.
상해
傷害
伤害
Okay, have a look one more time at the word list. Which words do you know or not know? That's a wrap for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll look at lines that relate to men and women and the roles they are expected to perform.
천자문,
千字文、
千字文，
As always, I remind you that my own knowledge of these languages is not substantial, so if you notice a mistake or omission, let me know in the comments. If you have a question, write it in the comments, and hopefully I or somebody can get back to you. Explore other videos in this channel devoted to the 1000 character classic. I will eventually be introducing all 250 lines of this classic poem. I will also be making videos about my study methods and other aspects of the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages. I wish you happy and productive language studies.